All right, so today's class is marketing with Command. And to get started, I am at the Command sign-in page. I am at agent.kw.com, and I'm going to sign in with my KW username and password. I will give you guys a moment to do the same as well. Once we sign in, that brings us to our Command dashboard. We are mostly going to be working in the campaign section today, but before we go in and actually create some marketing, we want to check on our settings to make sure our foundation is ready to go. So once you're signed into Command, go ahead and click on your name at the top right corner. And from here, select Settings. This brings us into our Command application settings. Here we can see our different apps that we have connected to Command, as well as connect additional apps. Now I'm going to scroll down and point out some of the apps that are relevant for today's class. So scrolling down, you'll see that we have Facebook connected twice, once for post scheduling and once for ads manager. We're going to go through post scheduling today. We're actually going to create a just listed post together and then post it on Facebook. And then there's also Facebook for Ads Manager. So if you're going to be running Facebook ad campaigns, so a paid ad, you would want to connect here as well. Unfortunately, we won't be touching on Facebook ads today. We do have a separate class for that, but you will want to make sure that Facebook is connected for post scheduling. Scrolling down under the social section, you can see we also have Twitter for post scheduling here. So Facebook will follow the same process for any one of these accounts that you'd like to connect. All you have to do is go to the far right and click Connect Account. Make sure you allow for pop-ups. This will bring up a pop-up window where you can sign into your account. Once you enter your username and password and authorize the app, this will be linked to Command right away. Scrolling down, we also have the marketing automation section. We're not going to be running ads today, but if you're wanting to run a Facebook ad, Twitter, or Google AdWords campaign, you want to make sure that these accounts are connected as well. Now, lastly, toward the bottom, we have Command Email and MailChimp. We are going to send out an email campaign today. And basically, you have two choices on how you're able to send out your email campaign. Now, previously, we only had the option to send via our MailChimp mailing list. So what that means is your contacts have to be in MailChimp, and then basically you link them to Command and you can send them to your MailChimp database. If you want to send directly to your contacts that you have in Command, you can utilize the Command email. And when we actually go in and set up an email campaign, I'll show you how you can make that choice. But I also recommend clicking Manage next to Email Campaign. This is where you're going to set up your reply to email and your sender name. So when you send any emails through Command, they're always going to be sent from a generic KW email on your behalf. But you can change where the email responses go to. So here you'll enter your sender name and then the reply to email. So if anybody replies to emails that you send through Command, they will go to any one of these emails here that you select. Down below, you can also manage your monthly account usage. You get 5,000 free emails that you can send through Command per month. If you find that you're sending more than that, or if you have a larger database, you can click here to manage that subscription. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this window. Over on the left, let's click on Connect Settings and then Marketing Profile. It's a good idea to take a look at your marketing profile before you send out any marketing materials. This is where you'll update things like your contact information and your headshot. So toward the top, you'll see your headshot, your team logo. Don't put your office logo here. There's actually a spot for that down below. And then your personal details, anything with that little red star is required, and you can always update this at any time. We have your bio, your contact information. There's a market center and brokerage section. This is where you'll enter your office information. Make sure you add your office address and not your personal address. And here's that spot for your office logo. Scrolling down to the compliance section, we have some spots for compliance links and documents that may be required by your board or by your office. Social, if you want links to your social media on your website or on your emails that you send out, you can add in those links here. And then Google Analytics, this is tracking for your website. So you can always come to the marketing profile at any time and make these changes. Once you click save, this will update for you. All right, so now let's actually go in and start to create some marketing materials. Now we also have a class called Designs 101. We're not going to go through the design section too in depth today, but I did want to give you a little preview, and we're going to quickly create a listing piece together that we can then post on social media through post scheduling. So over here on the left, this is our applet menu. These are the different apps within Command. And while you're still learning what this menu is, if you actually click on the red KW, it'll expand this menu and show you the name of each section. We're mostly going to be in campaigns today, the icon that looks like a megaphone, but I do want to touch on designs really quick. So let's click on designs. It looks like a little paintbrush. Now through designs, we have access to some great templates. We have templates for email campaigns, print pieces, social media pieces, lots of great stuff in here. So this first page here is your design library. This is showing us pieces we've created before. Let's go ahead and click Create Design at the top right. We can choose between email, social, print, or video. Again, we go more in depth into this in our Designs 101 class. We're just going to do a quick piece today. Let's go ahead and choose social. And then we're going to check this box for import photos and text from a listing. Once we select these two options, we can click Continue. And you'll see this brings up a KWLS search page. Since we're going to be advertising a listing today, we can actually select our listing from the KWLS. This will allow us to pull over photos and listing details into our piece, making it really easy to create that design. So I'm going to go ahead and search by my property address. And of course, I'm having trouble finding it. So let me see if I can find this. I know it's in the KWLS. So you can search by property address or MLS number. Let me see if that does not bring it up. That is so interesting. Well, I might need to select a new listing. So let me just go ahead and find a different listing real quick, because the one I was planning on using today is not coming up in my search. Okay, so this is making me think that the KWLS search is not working at this time, because I know that these are active and in KWLS. So if you're experiencing this error, that's totally fine. What we're going to do is we're just going to exit out of this if you can't find your listing, and we're going to trudge ahead. We'll either search again within the design, or we can just add in the information manually. It's really easy. So this is going to refresh and bring us into WeBrand. This is where we have access to all the different design templates. Over on the left, let's go ahead and click on Listings. And then For Sale. Now this is showing us pieces for social wide. This is good for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also have designs for Social Square. These are good for Instagram. You can also post these on Facebook and LinkedIn. And then there's designs for your stories as well, your Facebook and Instagram stories. Today we'll just choose social wide. And let's just select this first option here. I'm going to highlight this piece by putting my mouse on top of it and then click use. Now, again, I'm just going to run through this really quickly so you guys can get a general idea on how to create a design within the design section. We're going to use this when we go into social posts and campaigns. But again, check out our Designs 101 class. We go through this a little bit slower and we take a look at all the different templates. But I'm going to start by switching out this photo. So I'm going to click on the photo here. And on the left, you have an option for KWLS. Now we're going to try this again. If I was able to find my listing before, once I clicked on KWLS, it would automatically bring up that listing that I selected. I was having trouble finding it, so I'm going to try searching in here in hopes that that was just a temporary error. And here we go. I was actually able to find it. And I'm trying to find the listing that it's so interesting because this is in KWLS. Oh, here we go. I have it pulled up in another window. All right, so this is my listing here. I found it, so I can go ahead and click select. Now this is really cool because it's going to bring up all of the listing photos as well as the listing details. So for example, if I wanted to switch out this photo here, I have a couple different options of what I can do. I can go to the left and basically drag over this photo. And this will be replaced right away. Now you'll also notice when I replace the photo from KWLS, it pops the photo up to the top left corner. All we have to do to fix this is click on this button here for reposition. And this will allow me to change the cropping. Another thing we can do, we can go, once we select our photo, we can go over to the photo on the left and hit the replace image button. This will swap this out right away. But I think for this one, an interior shot looks better. So I'm just going to use this piece here. And again, it has this error where it's putting the photo up in the top left corner. Just click that reposition button and you can adjust the cropping. If you don't have the photos in KWLS or you can't find your listing, you can also go to the images section up at the top left. And you can upload images from your computer here by clicking add. So I'm going to go through and just quickly update these details. I'm going to click on the property address up at the top. And in my KWLS section, I can actually look at the listing details right here. So once I have this section selected, I can hit replace. And it'll swap this out right away. Now it doesn't add in the state. So for some of these, you may have to just manually update it. Under this section, I'm going to just manually do this. So this is 3-bed, 2.5 bath. I'm just double clicking and editing the text. And there we go. And then I can also change that this was built in 2007. And the last thing I need to do is swap out the logo. So once I click on the logo down toward the bottom, it's actually going to detect that this is a logo file. This is going to bring up the logo section over here. I can choose to use any one of my logos I've uploaded previously, or in the workspace section, I do also have access to some regular KW logos. So really quickly, I'm just running through and updating this piece. The rest of this class, I'll go through things a little bit slower. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at the design section. But you can see super easily, super quick, I was able to create this beautiful piece. So now I need to save this. Up at the very top, you'll see this section here. This is where I can rename the design. So I'm just going to double click in this box and I will type in the new design title. I'm going to call this Lazy Creek FB. Once I hit enter or click away from that, you can see it saves really quickly. So what I can do, I can download this if I'd like. I can download this as a JPEG file and then go and post it on Facebook or put it in an email, whatever I want to do. But we're actually going to post this directly from Command today. So let's just click Done at the top right. And we're going to switch gears and go into the campaign section. Now, once we click Done, this brings us back into Designs, and you can see here's our piece we just created. Let's click on the icon on the left that looks like a megaphone. This is going to bring us into Campaigns. Within campaigns, we have both paid and free campaigns. Our paid campaigns are going to be paid ads and direct mail. And then our free campaigns are going to be social posts and emails. Now we're going to touch on emails, direct mail, and social posts today. For paid ads, we have a separate class called Facebook Ads 101. Now we want to go ahead and post that piece we just created. So let's click on social posts. This brings us to our social post dashboard. Over here on the left, you'll actually be able to see a calendar of your scheduled posts. But let's start by creating that post, and then we can take a closer look at this section. So to create any new campaign, all we have to do is click Create Campaign at the top right. And we're going to select Social Post. Now for our campaigns, they're all going to follow a similar structure. We're basically going to fill in the items on the left to build our post on the right. So it first starts with text. We have 2,200 characters. Now this is basically posting to your business Facebook page. Now with an ad, you would want to keep the text a little bit short and sweet, but since this is a post, we can add in more information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the text. I'll say something like just listed in Nashville, enter in the property description and say contact today for more information. You have 2,200 characters, so you can add in more text here. Next, we have the images section. Now we want to use that design that we just created, but here you can add in images, videos, or a link. You can choose to browse the designs library, which we're going to do, or you can upload an image from your computer. Since we have that image ready to go, I'm going to click here, Browse Designs Library. This is going to bring up all of the social pieces in my design library. And here we can see this is the piece we just made. So I just need to select this. You can see that this works pretty quickly. Once this finishes loading, it's going to pop in. Oh, so sometimes if you make the design right away, it says it's not available. But once we go in again, it should bring it over. Here we go. So you can see it brought over my design. We do need to adjust the cropping. Right now it has it cropping as a square. All we need to do is click on the drop-down menu at the top. Wide will actually fit perfectly for this Facebook piece, but you can also use free to manually adjust the cropping. Someone says they are having an issue where they can only add 280 characters. Are you in social posts or are you running an ad? Because if you are creating an ad campaign through Facebook, it does have limited characters. I think it's only 220. But if you want to send us a screenshot, we can absolutely take a look. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. You can see we adjusted the cropping here, and all we need to do is click crop image, and our image has been added in. So with these social posts, you'll notice that the post itself is pretty simple. It doesn't really have too many details. but then you can add in more information in the property description. Now, directly below that is the DBA logo section. This is pulling in your office logo from your marketing profile. And you can see over here on the right, our piece already had a logo on it, and this is basically just trying to put our logo from the marketing profile on top of it. Now, this is not required for social posts, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove this. And you can see it removes that logo. There's also an option to include your ownership statement. This is from your marketing profile. But this piece itself already has the ownership statement on it, so I don't need to include this here either. So this is good to go. Next, we have the schedule section. We can choose to schedule this in the future or publish immediately. They tell us that the best times to post are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So if I click on the little calendar button, it'll allow me to choose the date and time where I'd like to post this. So I'll go ahead and choose Monday at 10:30 a.m. And there's no save button when you choose the date and time. You just need to adjust the date and time and then click out of that box. This will update right away. Next is the channel section. We actually connected this in our settings before we came into this section. So this is all good to go. You can see it has this selected here. If you do need to connect an account, you can click this option here. But this is good to go. We can choose to save this as a draft or schedule the post. So I'll go ahead and click schedule post. Confirm one more time. And there we go. So this brings us back to the social post dashboard. Right now we can't see, this is our week, but since this is posting next week, let me go ahead and scroll ahead. Here we go. So right here, you can see a calendar of your week and it'll show all of your posts that are scheduled or posts that have gone out. You can see this is our scheduled post. Once it does post, we'd be able to see how many likes, comments, and shares it received. So it's a really great way for you to set up your social media posts. We like to say set it and forget it. You can actually go in maybe on a Sunday, schedule out your post for the week, and then they will run automatically for you. Now over here on the right, we also have these great quick posts. These are posts that are already created that we have the option to use. You can shuffle through these to see different designs. So lots of great free content for you to use. Let's use this fun coffee one. So let's say, oh, that's actually leadership. I'll scroll down. So here's some extra social posts. You can scroll through these. You can customize them if you'd like. Let's say we want to use this one, bad joke alert. We can find the post that we like and then click the little arrow button. This will bring us back into that previous page. You can see everything is already added in. It has the text for us. It has the images. You can, of course, change the text. You can add additional images or change the images. And then we can go ahead and schedule this. So these are great free posts that you're able to use. I'll say I want to post this today at 2:30. And then I can click schedule post. So really easy. I'm able to set up this content that will run automatically for me. There we go. Now, if you want to make changes to this before it's gone out, you can go ahead and click on the ... button here. I can choose to edit the post or delete. I'm going to go ahead and delete so we don't post this to Scott's page. And I'll delete that other one as well. So you can see really quickly, really easily, we are able to create these great social media posts. Now that is the first type of campaign we're going to touch on today. That's our free campaign. We also have the option for emails. So let's go ahead and click the email option at the top. Now, email campaigns are sort of like sending out an email blast to your database. They're great templates for new listings. You can set up newsletters. There's fun like seasonal pieces, home improvement tips, lots of great templates that you can use. You can also create custom emails through here. Now in this section, we can see an overview of emails that we've set up before. We can see emails that were mailed, emails that are in draft status, or emails that were canceled. Before we actually send out an email, it's a good idea to take a look at your email list. So let's go ahead and click email list over on the right. And here we can manage our email lists. So you can manage your email list through MailChimp or command email. For MailChimp, it's basically going to have you, if your MailChimp account is connected, it does give you access to those mailing lists within your MailChimp account. So these are in MailChimp. But if you wanted to send to your command email, so any contacts that you have in this section here, you would need to set up an email list through command. So I have command email selected, and I'm going to click create list. I can enter in my list name. I will call this email blast list. And then I can select which contacts I'd like to add to the email list. So I can go through, I can just check the boxes next to people's names. I can search for contacts through this search box here, or I can search by tag. Once I've selected all the contacts that I need, I can go ahead and click confirm. And they will be added to my list right away. So it went ahead and created this brand new email list, and we can see that it has 4 contacts on it. If we'd like, we can click the pencil button. That'll allow us to edit the email list. We can add or remove people. Or if we ever need to delete the email list altogether, we can do so here. Now it won't delete the contacts. It'll just delete this group, delete the email list itself. Now that we have our email list ready to go, let's go in and create an email campaign. So we're going to click create campaign at the top. And then select email. Here we can enter our email campaign name. I will call this Lazy Creek Just Listed. And then you can choose a goal down below. My goal is to advertise this new listing, so I'll select that. And then it's going to ask where your campaign will run. This basically means which email list do you want to send this to? Is it going to be for your command contacts or your MailChimp contacts? I want to send to my command database, so I'm going to leave that selected and then click create campaign. Again, we're going to follow these questions over here on the left, fill in all of this information, and it's going to build our email campaign or our email over here on the right. So you can see under general information, this is actually already done for us. We entered this in the previous step. So it has our campaign goal, the campaign name, and then where we're sending to, the channel. Account is already set up for us. This is the email we're sending from or our reply to email. This is our command email account. And then step 3 is choosing the recipient list. Since we already have our email list selected, we can go ahead and select that from the drop-down menu here. This will show all of your email lists for your command email. If you forgot that step or you need to create a list or edit a list, you can do so by clicking these options here. So it's totally fine if you skip that step before. You do have the option to do it here. Send from, this is that reply to email that we set up in our settings. So this is already set up for us. If you see that this is incorrect, go ahead and click on the edit button. That's going to bring you back into your command settings to adjust this information. Next, we have the email subject. So this is the subject that people will see when this email is in their inbox. So maybe I'll say something like just listed in Nashville. Next, we need to select our email design. So I'm going to go under content and click select design. Here we have access to any email templates we've created before, as well as templates in the KWRI library. So if we had gone in through designs and created an email blast there, that would have been totally fine. We would have access to those here. We're going to create something from scratch today or from a template. So let's go ahead and click KWRI templates. Now, under KWRI templates, we have lots of great email templates that we can utilize. We have 72 different templates. You can go ahead and click load more to scroll through these. There are great designs for just listed email blasts. There are luxury pieces. You can see there's some home improvement things like low budget products or projects. There's usually some seasonal and holiday email pieces that you can use. There's newsletter templates, lots of great stuff in here. You can also utilize the search box to search for your design. So let's say I want to do a just listed email. I can search just listed and click enter. Well, actually, I don't even have to click enter. It refreshes for me. And it brings up all of the just listed templates. You can see we have some for luxury, and then we have approachable, classic, and modern. Let's go ahead and choose classic today. So I'm just going to click on this option here. Now over to the left is our email campaign template. We're basically going to go through and update the information to add in our listing. Any text that you see like this that has the asterisks and the bars around it, this is going to pull from your marketing profile. So all of this information down below, we actually don't need to worry about this. This is going to auto-populate for us. Let's just start at the top. It says just listed and then the address. So I'm just going to click on this address here. And then you can see we have the option to edit by clicking the pencil button or delete by clicking the trash can. I'm just going to go ahead and click the pencil. And then over on the right, we can add in our text. So I'm just going to manually update this, type in the text. You can change the font, you can change the size, you can add in merge tags from your marketing profile. So all of this will auto-populate from your marketing profile. But for this, I just need to change out the address. So I'm going to do so here and click done. And I'm just going to follow the same process for all the text. So I'm going to click on the pencil to change the price. Click done. And same for the property details. There we go. Next, we have some photos. So I'm going to click on the image here. And again, click that pencil button. We first need to replace the image. So I'm going to click replace. And here we have options to use images that we've uploaded before. We can use listing images from the KWLS, or we can upload images from our computer. So we'll go ahead and do both today. I'm going to start by uploading an image from my computer. So I'm choosing add images, and then I'm going to click here to browse my computer. I have my photo here in my downloads folder, so I'll go ahead and select that and click open. And there it is. Once the photo has been added down below, you can click on the photo itself and then click replace. So you can see now it's over here on the right. If I wanted to, I could link this photo. I could make it clickable. I could change the sizing, change the position, like make sure it's centered or to the right or left. I'm just going to replace the photo as it is, and it's going to fit it into this box here. So once I click done, you can see it's added in automatically. Now let's do that process again for these two photos. We'll just click on the photo and click the pencil button. Click replace, and then I'm going to use listing images. So again, I'm going to search the KWLS for this listing, and it's going to bring over the listing photos for me. Oh, I typed in listing. Here we go. You can select your listing here, click the arrow to the right. And now we can select some additional photos. So select the photo you need, click replace, and then click done. You can see it plugs it in automatically. So I'm just going to do that again one more time, super quick. Now, unfortunately, every time you choose listing images, you do need to search again. Search for your listing and then select a photo. And there we go. Next, we need to add in the property description. Now for this particular template, the text underneath is broken up into 3 boxes. I actually don't want to use this, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete each of these. So I'm going to click on each text box and then click the trash can button. Now over here on the right, we have different content widgets. These you can drag and drop to add additional content to your piece. So if you were making an email design from scratch, you would basically put it together by pulling over these content blocks. I want to add in a text block, so I'm just going to click on text over on the right. I'm holding down the button on my mouse and I'm dragging to the left. Now, anywhere where this green line appears, once I let go of that button on my mouse, the content block will be dropped in that location. So I'm going to drop it here, and now I can insert some text. Same sort of process, I'll click on the content I'd like to edit and then click the pencil button. And now I'm going to paste in my property description. Again, you can change the font, you can change the font size. I'm just going to click done. Oh, I'll make sure that this is centered. Once I click done, here we go, that has been added in. Next, there's a button to view the listing. Now we want to make sure that this is clickable. So I'm going to click on the button itself and then click that pencil button again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this to the listing on this agent's website. So when somebody looks at this email, you can choose to link it to your site. If you have a web address, you can link that here. You can also choose a landing page. So if you have a standalone landing page that you've made in Command for this listing, you can actually link to it here. So these are landing pages that we've created before. Let's say we had a landing page for this specific listing. I could choose it from this drop-down menu. And that's a great option because then any leads that come in from those landing pages, those will be directly imported to Command for you. They'll be recorded. For today, I'm just going to choose web address and I'm going to paste in the web address for this specific listing. I can change how the button looks. I can change the color, change the size. I'll go ahead and change the color, just change it to a red. I can make sure that the border is square or rounded. And then once I click done, this will be adjusted right away. Now that is a different red and I don't like how it looks, so I'm going to change it. I'll just leave it as black for now, actually. And there we go. Now, again, all of this information is going to pull from your marketing profile. So you actually don't need to worry about updating this, but you can see our email piece is ready to go. So it's a good idea to click save, just so you don't lose your work. But before I do that, I'm going to change the title of the piece up at the left. I'm going to call this Lazy Creek Just Listed. And then click save. Ooh. Now it is giving me an error. It must contain one legal footer block. Okay, so if you get an error message like that, hopefully this isn't, oh, And that worked. Okay. So somebody did email us about that. I think that's a glitch because this is actually the legal footer down here, but it's making you drag one over. I'm going to try just deleting this duplicated legal footer, and that should work just fine. Okay. That is so interesting. Okay, so I believe that may be an error. It is requiring an additional legal footer, but we'll take a look at that when we're done creating the template. Over here on the left, you can preview what this is going to look like on different devices. And you can also see a full preview by clicking this I button here. So you can see this is what the email is actually going to look like. And you can see it does have the legal footer duplicated. So I believe that is a glitch at this time. So just keep that in mind. That is a newer error. We just got emails about that this week. So hopefully that will be resolved soon. Okay, great. Actually, it did allow me to delete one. So I would just mess around with that, pull one over, try deleting one, and it does seem to work. But there we go, my piece is saved. Under options, I have the option again to preview. I can also send a test email. We definitely recommend doing this. You can send a test email to yourself just to make sure that everything looks good and looks the same as it does within this window here. So I always make sure that you send a test email to yourself. It's also a good idea to include yourself on the email blast list so you can see exactly when this goes out and when your clients are receiving it. So our email template is good to go. I'm just going to click save and exit. And once we do that, this will refresh and our email is plugged in over here on the right, and that looks great. This is actually good to go. We have options to save this as a draft. We can schedule this. Let's say I wanted this to go out Monday morning. I could choose the date and time. And this will send out automatically for me, or I can send right away. So lots of great options here. Under actions, again, you can preview or send a test email. I'm going to go ahead and just save this as a draft. And there we go. That's how we can create an email campaign. Once those go out, you will be able to see some metrics on who sent, opened, clicked, and bounced here. Now, our last campaign that we're going to do today is direct mail. This is one of our paid options for campaigns. So let's go ahead and click direct mail at the top. Through command, you can actually create and send different postcards. You can choose to send them to your own mailing list if you have it, or you can also choose a farming area directly through command. To do so, let's click create campaign again at the top right. And then we're going to choose direct mail. Oop, I clicked that a little quick. Let me go a little slower. So click create campaign and then direct mail. Same sort of thing. We can enter in the campaign name. And then enter our goal. We want to advertise a listing. And then click create campaign. This will bring up that KWLS search page again. Right now it's showing only my listings. So I'm going to change this to all listings so I can have that full KWLS search. You can also change the status to all status. So if you're ever having trouble finding your listing, make sure if these are here, you adjust them and it should bring that up for you. Searching for my listing, I can select that here. And again, this just makes it really easy. It's going to plug in the listing details and listing photos for us. So you can see we're going to work through these steps and try and get these little green check marks. So overview is done. We added in the postcard name and the goal. So that's already completed for us. Underneath that, it has the KWLS listing. So we already have that selected. You can also choose to just do this manually if you don't have the listing. And then we need to go into content. So I'll go ahead and expand this section. Now here we have two options. We can select a template or we can upload a design. Now from this section here, we have a few different templates. I believe there are 3 or 4 different templates that we can use here. You can see we have compact, default, large, and contemporary, modern and contemporary. So you can select different templates here. Oh, you're going to be able to preview them on the right, but you can't really tell because I don't have the photos in just yet. But these will have different prices. Of course, the bigger postcards will cost more money. The 4x6 is going to be the cheapest. So you can choose from these 4 different templates here, or you can actually upload your own design. So within the design section where we were at the beginning of class, there are actually more postcard templates and they're more customizable. So if you were to select a template from here, we're basically just adding in the photo and changing the details. If you want to do something more custom, you can create a design within the design section and then actually upload it here. Or you can use a different program and upload those as well. But for today's class, we're just going to select a template that's already pre-made for us. So we're just going to keep this as 4x6. And then you can see it actually plugged in the listing details for us. So it added in the price. We can select the listing status we want on the postcard. We can add in the bedrooms and baths. You can see it brought over the property description. It's a good idea to just make sure that all of this is complete. And you can see this is actually over the character limit. It says 497 out of 350. So we do need to make this a little bit shorter. There we go. We do have some questions. So this is going to be on slmtraining.com later today. I'll drop that in the chat, slmtraining.com, also our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Scott Leroy Marketing. It's where you can find all of our recorded training classes. So we have the property details ready to go, and then we can select the listing photo. So this postcard has one photo on the front, and it does have to be a high resolution photo. So it brought over my KWLS listing photos. Sometimes they might not be high res enough. So we're going to try this out. I'm just going to select this. I'll select one of the interior images. And you can see once I selected that, I'm getting this alert at the top that says low resolution. So it's plugging it in. Here you can see a better preview of what the postcard will actually look like. But unfortunately, it's not going to allow me to use this photo because it's not high res enough within KWLS. So unfortunately, I'm just going to need to upload a different photo. And I'm going to try uploading a different one. And if not, we'll just use a stock image from my computer. But I don't believe what I have for this will be high res enough. So I'm going to click upload and replace image. We're going to try choosing a photo from my computer. And it's too low res. Okay, so instead what we're going to do is we're going to just use a stock image from my computer. Oh, and that is a different stock photo that I wanted to use. Okay, perfect. So this is just a generic home that I'm going to use. This is actually high res enough. You can see it plugged it into the postcard. So if the KWLS listing images are not working, try and get the original photos from the photographer, and then you can upload those here. And then down below, it does have the agent details. So this is pulling from our marketing profile, our photo, our name, our email, and our phone number. So this is all good to go. We can now click save, and we can see the content section has our little green check mark. You can see a preview of our postcard over here. You can also preview the back. So you can see our text is a little too long. It's not fitting. So I'm just going to go ahead and adjust this. So definitely keep an eye on that. Stopping after countertops. There we go. So just keep an eye on that. It says it's good for up to 350 characters, but it looks like 233 may actually be the limit. You can preview your postcard over here on the right, and then I'll just click save one more time. Next is the Market Center section. This is basically adding in the sender address. So this is pulling from your marketing profile. It has your office logo, and this information is going to show on the back of the postcard. It has your name, the country, the address. Now you will need to verify the address. Let me just make sure I have the correct zip. It pulls over from your marketing profile, but it does have you add in the state and the zip just to make sure that this is correct. And then you can verify the address here. And once you click confirm, that'll be good to go. Next, we have targeting. Now we can choose to do either local targeting or target your database. And on our next step, we're going to configure the targeting. If you have your own mailing list already uploaded to Command, you can click Target My Database and add the contacts here. If you want to choose a farming area, you can select the address and it'll actually select addresses around this address in our next step. So I'm going to choose local targeting, and we're going to target people around this listing. So I'll just leave this address here and then click save. Lastly is our budget. Now we want to send 200 postcards, and these are first class, so 64 cents each. So our total will be $128. And this does include printing, distribution, and postage. So you can adjust the quantity over here on the left. And I'll click save. Now over here on the right, again, we can preview our postcard. There's also an option to add a QR code. This is for tracking. So if we turn this on, this is going to add a QR code to the postcard. I believe it'll be somewhere on the back. And then if anybody scans this QR code on the postcard itself, they will be redirected to any one of your landing pages. So if you created a landing page for this specific listing, I would definitely recommend linking it to this postcard. And then if anybody scans the actual postcard, they'll be brought to your website where they can see information about this listing. So I'll just choose a test one here. And there we go. And you can see once I selected the landing page, it added in the QR code up at the top right corner. So it's a great way for you to capture those leads from this postcard. This is all good to go. We have our check marks over here on the left. Next, we just need to configure the targeting because we are sending this to a farming area. So I'm going to click configure targeting. And it says, are you sure you want to create this campaign? I will click yes. Now this is choosing targeting based on the listing address, which we have entered here. You can change the address and select another address. It's going to send to 185 homes around this listing. If you actually go over on the map and put your mouse on top of these little bubbles, it'll show you details about the homes you're sending the postcard to. You can break this down with these filters over here on the left. You can choose which type of homes you'd like to send this to. And then you can choose to send a copy to yourself. So I'd recommend doing that so you get a copy of this in real time as well. Once you've updated your targeting, you can click next. And our last step is to pay for it. So at the top, we'll see our preview again. I definitely recommend double, triple checking this just to make sure everything is good. Once you enter in the payment information and submit the order, unfortunately, there's no going back. You won't be able to cancel the order. So just verify that everything is correct, everything looks good. Down below, it'll give you your order summary, and then all you need to do is enter your email and your payment information, and this will go through right away. And that's how you can create postcards and send them out through command. Now that is actually about it for today's class. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our website, stottleroymarketing.com. I did record this class, so this will be up on our website later today. But if you have further questions or just need assistance with anything, please feel free to reach out. Our phone number is here as well as our email. So we're here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you guys again for watching my class. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a great weekend.